Alright, round 2. Now if you look at this equation here, 6 over x squared plus 1. So based on what we've done already, we would say that the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And that is true. Now, look at your vertical asymptote. Is it possible to make that into 0? It would have to be imaginary. So, therefore, there is no vertical asymptote in this case. These are all just giving you a heads up. I would use my graphing calculator to prove all these things because there are exceptions to everything. Take a look at the next one. Now, we talked about degrees in the last video. This is a degree 2, degree 2. Okay? So, the horizontal asymptote, if the degrees are the same on top or bottom, take the coefficients. So that would be 2 over 1, which would give me a horizontal asymptote of y equals 2. What would create the bottom to be 0? 3 or negative 3. Therefore, the vertical asymptotes are x equals 3 and x equals negative 3. Come down here. It's pretty easy to get your vertical asymptote. X equals 2. Now, this is a degree 2 on the top and a degree 1 on the bottom. If that happens, 99% of the time, there is no horizontal asymptote. So what I did is I wrote some rules down here that will prove true most of the time. I cannot say all the time. Use your calculator and your graph on the calculator to prove these statements. Now, when we talk about top smaller than the bottom, we're talking about the degree. An example of that is up here. The degree of the top is 0. The degree of the bottom is 2. So the top is smaller than the bottom. This deals with just horizontal asymptotes. Just horizontal asymptotes. Y will equal 0. If the top and bottom degrees are equal, then use the coefficients and your horizontal asymptote. Again, horizontal asymptote would be, and here's an example of that, 2 over 1. And if the top is greater than the bottom, there is no horizontal asymptote. These are rules that I would keep in mind. It is not always true, but it will be true most of the time. Now, here we have on our graphing calculator, whoa, can we get it? An equation, 2x divided by x squared minus 1. Now, that would apply to the top being smaller than the bottom. So we would assume that y would equal 0 for our horizontal asymptote. Now when I hit graph, I'll try to show you this graph. Now that would be true, but look at our graph here. We got our vertical asymptotes. Our vertical asymptotes would be at 1 and negative 1, no problem. Now look at the middle here, and I don't know if you can see it real well, but if you type it into yours, there is a little squiggly line that goes. Let's zoom in and see if we can find it. See it a little bit better. Now, look there. Is that true that y equals 0? No. So there is no horizontal asymptote based on that right there. So in that case, that proves that this rule is not always true, and we would have to say no horizontal asymptote. So use some common sense also, especially when you get the graphs in front of you. That would be wise. Now your book assignment is on the blog. Also, I think maybe some of them will ask about the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts, if you're asking about x-intercepts, then just set the top equal to 0 and solve it. It's pretty simple stuff. We'll spend today on the graphing. Again, I'll put it up on the blog, and then you'll get your take-home quiz, which will be direct, inverse joint, and a little bit of graphing. And then next week we get back into solving rational expressions. That's a lot more fun than the graphing part of it. So, hey, I can't wait to get back. I'll be honest. Look forward to seeing all of you. Hope the video was at least average. And I know you enjoyed my daughter's room. That's for sure. All right, have a good day. Thanks.